these items in the elite sports, the third group items, as you know, be ranked more higher order in the value priority space in the very, very hard competitive situations. But in the studies, this third group were a little evaluated lower grades. So in the study 2, we try to focus the point of the strategic intelligence challenging of sports. The rugby unions. Students were explained the World Cup challenging by Japanese rugby national team, especially reinforcing the strategic intelligence, sophistications, and tactics. After that, they ordered the 18 items of each terminal values and instrumental values. We use factor analysis on all the 36 items of human values to verify the communal factors across the terminal values and instrumental values. The primal communality were determined by sum of the squad low loading, and the number of factors were determined eigenvalues over 1 point. And we'll refer the script plot. The result, we extract 3 factors. It's concerned rugby football, rugby unions, competence. Factor 1, extracted by the world of peace, world of beauty, loving, equality, and we name the world conscious. Factor 2 was named as some kind of the logical competence from the creative, logical, imaginative, independent, self-reliant, and capable. Factor 3 was names cultural nationalism from cultural perspective and nation mind. In Factor 1, peace and equality, with the conscious were both used in the past European Commission, the General Human Value Studies. And that would concern the factors, cultural nationalism, Factor 3, as people's social identification and the central force to nations. People might feel the anxiety paradoxically faced in the very reality. Factor 2, logical competence might reflect the essence of the elite sports challenging towards the tough, very severe world competitions. These hybrid factors mapping space suggest some intention of the motive to pursue the challenge of physical and mental human competence for football code. That concerns the sort of some kinds of very altruistic dedications. At the same time, center force toward the cultural nation mind. The physical and mental tough challenge on the limited human resource in sports could be supported by sort of some comparatively universal cultural and nation mind also. Because sympathizing with universal cultural existence and ontological commitment is suggested. This kind of mapping approach may have some possibility to suggest social value structures in the specific intention and working in life, and of course in the sport life. It's a factor of the matrix and recognize strategic challenge of the rugby unions. Conclusions. This kind of descriptive approach of social value ordering and factor mapping suggests an understanding the potential value structure on the football society. People might see football reflecting the objectively on their own value perspectives. This study was partly supported by Japanese grant from the Japanese Ministry of the Education. Thank you.
Thank you, Ko. So, do you have any questions? Course research shows us social and psychological values to the sporting event, rugby and soccer. So, any questions? So, one question from me.
Yes.
Are there any difference from rugby case and soccer case for at the mapping? Any
Yes.
differences?
In the soccer case, the study one was so the first study of these two series, and firstly, just I asking the students the national teams challenging to the World Cup, and I believe that they honestly answered the value order was very personal, personal value, but comparatively the sports-related value, like very, I think my thoughts concern the logical thinking and wisdom, that kind of value I anticipated more, a little more higher value. So that I asked to next study two, asking the Japanese rugby unions focus on the not only the general challenge one by using the strategical, tactical, using challenge. What kind of feel like that challenge? So it's a student some kind of manipulated. But this kind of challenges, all the Japanese sports have some kind of inferiority of the physical toughness. Also, we need some more unique tactical characteristic. Well, it's in my thoughts, natural way. But as of course, the soccer's challenging. Student will answer the logical tactics value will be higher, but in the situation next time I will ask.
Yes, it depends on the situations and questions. Any questions? Yes.
Thanks for the code. Both of your samples were university students?
Yes, my university student.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if if sample one were all soccer players or had knowledge of soccer, and whether study two were all rugby players and had knowledge of rugby.
No. It's the ordinary my lecturing class, so they including the not specific class, engineering and medical. All faculties, students come the same class.
I guess my question then is how did you establish whether if either group had a substantial knowledge of either sport? Are you assuming they knew and were following the World Cup in soccer, and I'm assuming that they knew anything about the Japan rugby team?
But the study ones, I asked just day after the game of the last World Cup, and I asked the students around my lecture, 10 times lectures, and I always every lectures I have some student comment, and firstly they cannot answer the very small words, but after the 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, around 10 times, they answer their own answer very clearly. Well, I think the data is very adapted answers. The Armenians case study too is almost in the same class in the grade 1, university grade 1, and not only for the rugby specific class and soccer specific class.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Ko. Thanks for that. That was fantastic. Just a question about the rugby union side of thing. Significantly, cultural perspective is higher than most other. Has there been other studies in other countries, and how does that compare to other studies? Has there been other studies?
And this approach used in all over the world, and the last one is I have some paper in the last one. In the European Commissions, there are general life value studies, and these two nation mind or cultural perspectives comparatively higher place in the value orders. Between 80%.
In the study.
And my feeling of this study, the university students answered have not answered this kind of value, nation mind and cultural mind for the other kind of the general life, but they were asked focus on the soccer and rugby, very challenging the game, but they answered very honestly that yes, I feel nations in the sports. But the other case, they cannot answer the kind of answer. So it's a very, I think, unique result.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Okay, let's take a coffee break and please enjoy next 4 hour sessions. Thank you very much.